Welcome back to the latest edition of the Jake's Take with Jacob Elyachar Podcast. I'm your host, Jacob Elyachar, the chief content producer and writer of jakestake.com, a pop culture and entertainment news website. It is episode 107, and I am finally excited, and I'm so happy because I have one of my favorite frontmen of one of my favorite rising bands. All the way from Prestonpans, Scotland. He is part of the Spotify verified band known as the Raws. They have been featured on BBC Radio 1, XS Manchester, BBC Radio Scotland introducing, and he's the vocalist and guitarist. So please help me welcome Jack McLeod.
What an entrance. I don't know if my chat is going to keep up with that, but brilliant. Thank you.
Alrighty, guys. I have featured the Raws on multiple occasions on jakes-take.com's new music reviews, so it's so excited to see you, Jack.
Yeah, no, it's good to finally get a one-to-one, yeah.
Awesome. So, Jack, when did you get interested in music, and how did that passion evolve into the desire of pursuing a career in the recording industry?
So, my memory's a bit vague from when I was younger, but I reckon it was around the age to 13 to 15 I got properly interested in music. It was mostly my big brother, which I've got to thank for inspiring me as such. He listened to bands like the Libertines, and he listened to a bit more kind of Americanized kind of music, like You Me at Six, Kids in Glass Houses and stuff, bands like that. But he listened to the Libertines and Oasis and stuff as well. So that was probably my main influence in my first gig when I was 15 and first festival when I was 15. And yeah, he was the one that kind of took me illegally, but
Awesome. So what is the Raws origin story?
But again, it's a bit vague. We cannot actually remember exact dates. I think it was 2009, roughly, is when we kind of formed as such. The 5 original members all went to school together. Only 3 remain, but yeah, we were all in the same classes at school and stuff. And Jason, one of the original members, his dad was in a cover band, used to play around the circuit, like the pubs. So we always used to be around or whatever, and we used to see them and be like, yeah, I think we can do that. So we all just kind of learned instruments. I tried to sing, still do. So yeah, we just kind of went for it from there, covering songs like Oasis, Arctic Monkeys, The Strokes, probably one of your favourites, The Strokes. Yeah, so bands like that, and just kind of practiced, and then thought we'd give our own songwriting a bash, which hopefully is paying off. So, yeah.
It is paying off, guys. Jack, I really think you guys are on fire, and with all this being featured in the UK, I really hope that America, once the pandemic's over, can hear your sound, because you guys catch fire, hopefully.
No, that's really appreciated, especially with you being so far away from our home. Yeah, it's good that we're making wavelengths across the Atlantic.
Awesome. So, who are the Raws music industry heroes, and how do they influence your sound?
So yeah, from an early age, as I've already mentioned, Arctic Monkeys, The Strokes were major. More personally for myself, it was the likes of Pete Doherty, Kyle Faulkner from The View, and yeah, people like that. A lot of the other guys in the band, like the Red Hot Chili Peppers, Oasis, are massive influence. Especially with Oasis being so close to home and just being from streets like ourselves and hometowns like themselves, just blowing up to the world, really is a massive influence to us and keeps the dream alive. When stuff like Supersonic, their documentary and stuff comes out, when you watch that, you still think, yeah, it's always possible that you could break through.
Awesome. So what have been some of the challenges that the Ross have been facing breaking into not just the UK music industry, but the European music industry, and how have you overcome those obstacles?
The music industry in the UK it seems to be more about who you know and about luck rather than the actual music, because without sounding offensive to anybody, some of the music that gets played on mainstream radio is far off what I would class as really good music. There's so many unsigned artists out there that have got such a better back catalogue but never seem to make the cut. So it seems like it's more about who you know, and over the years we've been knocked back from many different promoters for the likes of gig ticket sales, when really it shouldn't be about how much you sell. They should be giving you the chance to showcase your music and then create the following from there. But at the same time, they're running a business, so that's always the, if you get past that couple of hundred ticket sales, then from there the next step is quite hard, and that's where I would kind of class us in that ballpark. So yeah, that's probably the biggest challenge.
I think you're going to go out of that ballpark soon and get into the bigger venue and get into the bigger stuff.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully. I mean, it's going well so far with all this new campaign with the album and stuff. So yeah, it's heading in a good direction, and I think the only way is up. So yeah.
Awesome. So the COVID-19 pandemic has devastated the entertainment industry, especially live music. So what have eventually, I know that, is the UK still in lockdown? You're in Scotland still in lockdown mode?
Yeah, we are.
After this recording?
Yeah, it's still stay at home, the message. You're only to go outside the house for essential purposes, really.
Okay, so once that lockdown's been lifted and all you've been vaccinated, how have the Ross prepared to the eventual return of performing live?
So yeah, our album tour that was meant to happen last April, that's now been delayed for the third time. So that's now been pushed back. I think it's into October. So that's kind of going to hopefully be. I mean, I'm hoping that they go ahead. They should go ahead, and obviously hoping for gigs before that. So, as you say, hopefully the vaccination is rolled out pretty quickly. It already is. Like, I think 60% of the adult population have already been vaccinated. I don't know if that's exact, but that's like the rough figures. So, hopefully, by the time that all gets rolled out, events start to open up. Maybe festivals in the summer. That's going to be hopefully our impact point back onto the gigging scene. But for the time being, obviously with the album being delayed so many times, we can't really sit on it anymore. So we're having to release it on the 7th of May, which is, it's better than what we're planning. So yeah, it's happening.
I'm happy that the album's finally getting released, and it's called, guys, When It Does Become Real. So, Jack, can you please describe the recording process from inception to release?
Yeah, so it's been over quite a long period. I think it was due to mostly because we didn't think that the previous releases got the attention that they deserved, and we kind of wanted to keep it all to the stuff that we've played and loved. We didn't think, as I say, got the attention that it deserved. So from, I think it was 2016 till 2019, so it was 3 years actually from start to finish. And in that period we've had a few changes in faces as well, so I don't think that's helped matters. But so from 2016 then another song was 2017. The majority of the recordings were in 2018, 2019, and they've been all over the UK and mostly in Ireland, which is brilliant. James Darkin, our producer, it's a good experience going away from where you're from, just to escape for a bit and proper screw the nut, as we say, and get down to the nitty-gritty in the studio. It's good.
And not to mention, you're recording in Ireland, which, by the way, I studied abroad way back in 2010 in London, so with Syracuse University abroad program. And one of the things that I regret is not going to Ireland.
Yeah, I mean, beautiful place, absolutely beautiful. The people are really friendly, and Guinness.
I was thinking you too. I'm not a drinker, but
Guinness is absolutely brilliant. But yeah, you two are brilliant too.
All right, so I want to talk to you about, guys. I want to talk to you about two of your songs because I really love both of them very much. I was jamming out to them before we got on this call. Let's start with "The Time Is Now."
Yeah, so that was one of the older, if you want to class it, older songs. I wrote it in 2000, I think it was quite early, 2013, and we've always played it when we're gigging from a young age, but it's matured with us over the time, and when we kind of started with we kind of turned a new slate in 2017, and from there we involved like keyboards. You'll know the sound. The Time Is Now, and from there, it's a really strong song to open the album, if you ask me. And I was never fond of like the speech at the start of the song, but I was looking at with tunnel vision, and the producer James, he was like determined to keep it in because it's so passionate and it was like straight off the cuff, and I think it brings out the Scottish in us. Really, it's kind of Braveheart-esque. So yeah, I do like it. I love the song. I think it's a brilliant song. Yeah.
And I gotta say, the speech still, even though that speech is we recorded back in like 2015, that speech still carries a punch today.
Yeah, I think that's why we've got it as the opening song. I think it's it's quite grabbing. I mean, we've had good feedback over the years from it, so yeah, it's a good opener.
Alrighty, I loved your recent song, "She's Nuts." Really, really good.
Yeah, it's. I think I could probably relate it to being inspired a lot by Queens of the Stone Age or the Arctic Monkeys AM album. It's proper, it's proper in your face.
Awesome. So, who are the Raw's dream collaborators? They could be singers, songwriters, other bands, producers, and how would they enhance your sound?
It's a good question. It's one we get asked quite a lot, and my answer probably changes each time. But I'm trying to think. I mean, the dream would be, I don't know, like Paul McCartney and I guess that kind of era, because I think with their musical knowledge over the years, I think it'd just be good to share a room with them. Never mind play music together with them. So, trying to think who else. I mean,
I definitely think Mr. Paul McCartney would definitely be a great lineup with you guys if you guys could cover a Beatles tune or a Wings cover.
Yeah, I mean, I would love it. He's done a bit with Dave Grohl with Sound City. So yeah, I think we could replicate that kind of vibe. I'm trying to think who else. I mean, obviously with being such a big influence, Alex Turner would be brilliant to collaborate with. His creativity and stuff would definitely be eye-opening. So,
I was thinking about another one of my favorite UK bands that you guys could do. I would love to hear the Raws and the Struts together.
Oh yeah. I've never actually got into them a lot, but I've heard some of their stuff. It's good, yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, because you guys are two incredible sounds of rock, and I think you guys together on a super track would definitely showcase the best UK rock.
Yeah, well, if they're willing to pay for it, we'll do it.
Awesome. I totally agree with you on that. So we got to start wrapping up the interview. So before we wrap it up, what are some of the Raw's favorite social media channels? Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and why do they stand out?
So I think my more on a personal note, I think Instagram is better as in content. You post a photo, you tell what it is, that's it, it's straight up. There's no bickering or whatever. Sometimes you get a bit of comments and whatever, it's good. And the story option with Instagram obviously originated with Instagram. So, yeah, I think that's used, and it can be used as a good benefit. Twitter seems to be, I think with lockdown, a lot of people go into Twitter for like listening parties and stuff. And it's properly accelerated our followers and our interactions on it. So I would say they two for now are probably the best. Facebook is Facebook. If I didn't have a band account on Facebook, I wouldn't have an account. So that's kind of my vibe with Facebook. But I'd vote Twitter and Instagram ahead of Facebook.
Alrighty. So if you had the opportunity to meet with bands who want to advance their career, either just at the starting stage or wanting to advance their career in recording industry, what advice would you share with them?
Don't back down easily from producers, and believe in yourself. Yeah, don't want to be too inspiring as such, but that's pretty much it. I would say believe in your ability. Write what you like. Don't write for other people. Yeah. Awesome.
Great advice. So where can my audience listen to the Raws? Where can they buy the music? Where can they stream the music?
So if you want to pre-order the debut album in vinyl form, it still can be done from our website, theraz.co.uk, or it's our big cartel. I think you'll be able to access it on Twitter and Instagram. It's the link in the bio. You can stream on Apple Music, buy on iTunes, stream on Spotify, Deezer, Amazon Music. There's loads. YouTube Music, the lot. Every single site, probably.
Awesome. Guys, if you missed an episode of the Jake's Take with Jacob Elyachar podcast, head to Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and Spreaker. Just type in Jake's Take with Jacob Elyachar, JACOBELYACHAR. Are you on social media? I'm on social media too. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube, Jacob Elyachar, JACOBELYACHAR. To read my reviews of the Raws music, head to jakes-shake.com, which, by the way, Jack, it is celebrating its 10th anniversary this year.
Brilliant. Well done, you.
Thank you so much, Jack. And it's jakes-shake.com. Jack, I am so thrilled for you and for the Raws. Please tell everybody I said hello. And I am hoping and praying that once the lockdown is lifted in Scotland, and once you guys are vaccinated, and once you start touring in the UK, that you probably think of the US.
Yeah, absolutely.
Alrighty, guys. Thank you so much for your time and consideration. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for listening. And have a great one. Goodbye, everybody.
Thank you, Jake. Cheers.
Cheers.